here. I only do it in the beginning, but I go very slow with the first couple of reps. I have a very heavy weight here. It's 180 pounds, and I progressively went down all the way down to about 120 pounds later in the set, but I didn't dwell much here, and I just got my reps in and then continued until I hit failure. Moving on to rows, I did the same thing. I wasn't really doing it as much here, but I did emphasize putting strain on the muscle by working it as much as possible. Whenever the weight became too heavy and I could only do half reps, I did a couple half reps, and then I got up and I dropped the weight. While this might not be the best thing to do to impress others around you, it's not something you should worry about. You should be worrying about your gains, even if it looks like you're not doing very much weight and you can only get a couple reps in. This is probably my most prime example right here of time under tension. I had 180 pounds on the row for a first set and decided on every single rep on the way down, I was going to go slow no matter what it took. While I got faster over time, I was still not swinging the weight around and allowing the weight to control me. Now, if you saw my videos in the past, you know that I do not curl 125 pounds on the Preacher machine, but because I've been doing time under tension for a couple of weeks now, I was easily able to rack out an easy 12 controlled reps with 125. While this isn't time under tension, it was kind of just a cheat for me since I had already worked my biceps a lot during the back workout, and I really wanted this one, so I decided to do it. Next, I went on to doing standing easy bar curls with a 50-pound bar, and I did as much control as I could in the beginning. As you can see, slow on the way down, explosive on the way up. While you can do slow on the way up too, it was pretty close for me to hit failure, and I ended up dropping the weight in the next couple of sets, so I just decided to be as explosive as I can and build my explosive power. But I was still trying to do time under tension on the way down, and as you can see, sometimes I'll accidentally do a half rep. One of the most important things about practicing time under tension is not to just practice it under your favorite exercises, and it's going for every part of the muscle so that you can maximize that growth everywhere. You wouldn't want an uneven bicep or lat. So I'm doing alternating hammer curls inside so that I can build that outside part of the bicep. I'm doing these slow and controlled to maximize my tension, and I'm feeling the burn right here, but I'm not letting it get to me. While these are very difficult and you perform a lot of reps, it's perfect for building that outer bicep. Now I decided to go to the shoulder press and get a little bit of reps in. I've only got 100 pounds here. It's not too heavy, but in the beginning I tried to keep it as slow and controlled as I can. But on a movement like this, you have to be very careful because if you perform time under tension and you do the incorrect form, it can lead to a terrible injury. On a machine like this, it's kind of awkward. I prefer the handles that are just straight, parallel to your face, but these are not, and I could feel it really working on my shoulder, so I decided to stop for a little bit and try again, but ultimately, I was too afraid of an injury, so I didn't spend too much time on this machine. On the contrary, when you have a lateral raise machine that can make something like lateral raises really safe, I go all out on it because it's very difficult to injure yourself when you have this much control over the movement. So I slapped 100 pounds on the stack and got to work. I did pauses on the top to maximize hypertrophy, and as you can see, I'm really feeling it, but this is what you need to do to grow those shoulders. And lastly, we've got rear delts, and I wasn't going to let this one get to me either, since it was such a safe move on the machine. I slapped 175 pounds on the stack and got to work. Now, I wasn't performing as much time under tension right here, but I was making sure to go pretty controlled, not let the weight slam down, and that was my version of control for this exercise. You can actually see the little bit of rear delt activation right there under my shoulder. Well, what I recommend here is trying this out yourself, doing as much time under tension as you can, and controlling that weight. If you like things like this, consider subscribing. I try and spread as much of my wisdom as I can. Thank you, stay fit, stay safe, and bye-bye.